What we're going to do is teach you how to think. You can major in economics or physics or art history, but what you learn to do in the process is to think critically. And pull the problem apart and analyze it and then put it back together again. The standards that we keep are tough as hell. If you make it through here, you have a feeling that, by God, I can lick wildcats.
We're lucky we have a good son, and I'm sure that any of the parents at the school would say the same. But it is a wonderful process to watch them grow up at Hamilton.
Love the department. I don't think there's a weak professor here.
They're really dedicated to their students.
My social studies teacher, my senior year, was a relatively recent grad from Hamilton. And I had thought I was a math science geek coming out of high school. And he said, "You don't know what you don't know yet. And let me take you to this little place 30 minutes away that I had never even heard of." And he said, "Let me expose you to it and see that there's a whole bunch of things you've never even heard or seen." He personally brought me to campus, and he inspired me, and that's how I ended up here.
Character and values matter, leadership matters, brain's creativity and taking initiative matters. Whether it was something related to the academic curriculum, sports or music or one of the arts, whether it was managing a fraternity or sorority or whatever. It's pretty much a student-run town.
How is that, in some ways, actually compounding the problem of Virginia?
It's making that poor white class bigger than it had been.
Well, obviously it's not making the poor white class bigger, it's making what class bigger? Workers. The workers, right?
The Russian debate team did a tour of the U.S. and really only stopped at 2 colleges. One was Hamilton, the other was Harvard.
The ability to write and to speak well, to advance claims through evidence and storytelling, and to develop counter-arguments considerate of the sentiments of others. This is and always has been the heart of a Hamilton education.
This place actually just offers enough opportunities and actually gets you excited about the academics here that you do get into it. I love the work here. The quality of an opportunity I've been given, I don't want to waste it.
We've had people go to law school who've majored in everything from theater to physics. We've had people go to medical school who were philosophy majors.
The oral exams are something people talk about a lot that I started. We do it in our whole department there. They're usually scared to death the first time they do that, but they work like maniacs because they want me to be impressed with their answers. They want to look good and feel like they're in control. A lot of students have told me that it's a great thing for a number of reasons, one of which is they can just knock the socks off of job interviews.
Space.
You seem to know a lot about music, Mr. Lopez.
Space.
Once I started singing, I just couldn't stop. I loved it.
You like wine, don't you? When the wine is good.
People talk about life as if the only things that matter are your own experiences, the things you saw things you did, the things that happened to you. To me, the things that matter really are the people you knew, the things you learned from them, the things that influenced you deeply and made you what you are.
When you put on your jersey, it says Hamilton on it. You can't let that jersey down, you know?
What's our record? 6-0-1? 5-0-1, and we're currently ranked 14th in the nation.
Second in the region.
D3 schools, and yeah, second in the region.
If I'd gone to a bigger school, I couldn't have participated in sports. And I was a varsity member of 3 different sports teams here.
I think we're attracting kids that, yes, can help our programs, but also they come to Hamilton because they fall in love with all the things that make Hamilton special.
My mom actually went here back in the 70s. She went to Kirkland, and she had all this fantastic stuff to say. So I applied here, and then I received a large scholarship, so I decided I would go.
Sometimes I go home and I'm like aching to come back to school. I must love it a lot.
I remember walking around what it used to be called James Library. At that time was actually the locker room for the football team. And I remember running into this cheerful man who says, "Good morning, David, how are you?" And I could have sworn that I've never met this man before.
It's crazy things from having push-up competitions in the middle class to studying some various esoteric issues. The discussions ended up being very heated, but also very intellectually stimulating.
The best thing about Hamilton is that if you get motivated in some area, you can own the world here.
There is a tradition from Kirkland that still exists at Hamilton that is very special. At graduation at Kirkland, women took up a green apple and put it on the podium as they collected their diploma. Kirkland was built in an apple orchard, and the symbol of Kirkland College was the maturation of the apple.
I think a lot of people have the image that it's a predominantly white school, that it's quite preppy, that it's not that diverse. But actually, when you come here, there's really nothing to be worried about.
So glad you came to Hamilton.
Being an international, it's just been amazing.
It's something like a home. Because you spend 4 years here, living all jammed together in dormitories piled on top of each other, you get to know people real well in a real intense setting, and I think those connections last. If you come back here in 50 years, it's going to be here. And you will see people who knew you when you were young. As our world becomes increasingly fragmented and mobile and uncertain, that sense of stability, I think people find that very valuable.
To me, it's more of a state of mind than a place here. It never leaves you.
John Baldwin was a larger-than-life figure. He was head of the choir. Every summer, he would spend in Paris, and he would actually be the organist at a church on the left bank. He could be up in the choir loft, and he would look in the mirror and he'd see Hamilton people coming in the church to see him, and he would begin to weave in Carissima into Bach or Vivaldi, which made people who had that experience just feel like kings of the mountain.
This morning, 6 or 7 of us got together, and one of them said, you know, I've been thinking about what are the best years of my life, and it's here. These were the best years of my life.
The heart and soul of Hamilton hasn't changed. It was a great liberal arts educational experience. It was a great coming-of-age experience. It was a great place to make friendships that last a lifetime.
Professor Blackwood said to me in my senior year, the habits you leave here with are the habits you will carry through your life. And I can't tell you how many times I've reflected on that and how right he was.
We get about 60% return on our annual drive from our alumni. That's not a good number, but it's one of the best in the country. I mean, it should be 95.
And I remember actually walking out near Dunham thinking, now I remember why I love this place. It has a special feeling, it has a warmth that even being away for 10+ years, you reconnect with. And it doesn't go away. It doesn't go away.
Oh, it's a small world, but Clinton is right in the center. It really is.